바이블 1311 2Chronicles 23 역대하 23장을 네이티브 스피커와 함께 읽어보도록 하겠습니다.
In the 7th year, Jehoiada showed his strength. He made a covenant with the commanders of units of 100. Azariah son of Jeroham, Ishmael son of Jehohanan, Azariah son of Obed, Maaseiah son of Adaiah, and Elishaphat son of Zikri.
In the 7th year, Jehoiada showed his strength. 7년이 되어가지고 이제 성전에서 숨어서 이렇게 지내다가 In the 7th year, Jehoiada showed his strength. 여호야다 제사장이 그의 힘을 보여줬는데 He made a covenant with the commanders of units of 100. He made a covenant. 언약을 맺기를 누구랑? With the commanders of units of 100. 그 백부장들을 다스리는 사령관 commanders of units of 100가 누구였느냐? Azariah son of Jehoram, Ishmael son of Jehohanan, Azariah son of Obed, Maaseiah son of Adaiah, and Elishaphat son of Zikri. 이런 사람들과 같이 made a covenant 하게 되었습니다.
They went throughout Judah and gathered the Levites and the heads of Israelite families from all the towns. When they came to Jerusalem,
They went throughout Judah and gathered the Levites and heads of Israelite families from all the towns. 그들이 이제 그 백부장들의 사령관들이 어디로 갔느냐? They went throughout Judah. 온 유다를 이렇게 가게 됐는데 They went throughout Judah and gathered the Levites and the heads of Israelite families. 레위인들과 이스라엘 가족들의 그 수장들을 모았는데 From all the towns, 모든 유다의 마을들로부터. When they came to Jerusalem, 그들이 예루살렘에 갔을 때 When they came to Jerusalem,
assembly made a covenant with the king at the temple of God. Jehoiada said to them, The king's son shall reign as the Lord promised concerning the descendants of David.
The whole assembly made a covenant with the king at the temple of God. Whole assembly made a covenant with the king. 온 회중들이 whole assembly가 made a covenant with the king. 왕과 언약하기를 어디에서? At the temple of God. 하나님의 전에서 at the temple of God. Jehoiada said to them, 여호야다가 그들에게 말하기를 The king's son shall reign as the Lord promised concerning the descendants of David. 왕의 아들이 통치할 것이다. The king's son shall reign. 왕의 아들이 통치해야 한다. As the Lord promised. 여호와께서 약속하신 대로 concerning the descendants of David. 다윗의 후손에 관해서 concerning the descendants of David. 다윗의 후손에 관해서 약속한 것처럼 the king's son shall reign. 왕의 아들이 다윗의 후손이 통치를 해야 되는 것이다.
Now this is what you are to do. A third of you priests and Levites who are going on duty on the Sabbath are to keep watch at the door.
Now this is what you are to do. Now this is what you are to do. 이것이 너희가 해야 될 일이다. This is what you are to do. A third of you priests and Levites who are going on duty on the Sabbath are to keep watch at the doors. A third of you, 너희 중에 a third 하면 3분의 1을 말하는데 a third of you, 너희 3분의 1의 priests and Levites, 제사장들과 레위인들이 who are going on duty on the Sabbath, 안식일에 who are going on duty, 안식일에 직무가 있어서 가는 그 a third of you, priests and Levites, 3분의 1의 제사장들과 레위인들 중에서 are to keep watch at the doors. 뭘 해야 되느냐? Keep watch at the doors. 문에서 지켜야 된다. Keep watch 해야 된다. Keep watch at the doors.
A third of you at the royal palace, and a third at the foundation gate, and all the other men are to be in the courtyards of the temple of the Lord.
a third of you at the royal palace and a third at the foundation gate. 그리고 너희 중에 3분의 또 다른 3분의 1 a third of you at the royal palace. 왕궁의 royal palace에서. 그리고 또 3분의 1은 a third at the foundation gate. foundation gate. 그 기초로 이렇게 세운 그 문에서 foundation gate에서 at the foundation gate에서 3분의 1이 at the royal palace의 3분의 1이 또 이제 템플하고 관련된 곳에서 그 3분의 1이 그리고 all the other men are to be in the courtyards of the temple of the Lord. 그리고 모든 다른 사람들은 어디에 있어야 되느냐? are to be in the courtyards of the temple of the Lord. 여호와의 템플의 뜰에 코트야즈에 있어야 된다.
No one is to enter the temple of the Lord except the priests and Levites on duty. They may enter because they are consecrated, but all the other men are to guard what the Lord has assigned to them.
No one is to enter the temple of the Lord except the priests and Levites on duty. No one is to enter the temple of the Lord. 아무도 여호와의 템플에 들어가서는 안 된다. Except 누구를 제외하고 이 사람은 예외인데 except the priests and Levites on duty. 제사장들과 레위인들이 on duty 직무가 있는 그 당직이 있는 on duty한 the priests and Levites의 그 제사장들과 레위인들을 제외하고 except the priests and Levites on duty 한 사람을 제외하고 no one is to enter the temple of the Lord. They may enter because they are consecrated. 그들은 들어갈 수 있는데 왜냐하면은 because they are consecrated. 그들은 성결하게 되기 때문에. But all the other men are to guard what the Lord has assigned to them. 그러나 all the other men are to guard. 다른 모든 사람들은 지켜야 된다. guard해야 된다. are to guard what the Lord has assigned to them. 여호와께서 그들에게 assigned 맡겨준 has assigned to them. 그들에게 the Lord has assigned to them 한 것을 그들은 are to guard. guard해야만 지켜야만 하는 것이다.
The Levites are to station themselves around the king, each man with his weapons in his hand. Anyone who enters the temple must be put to death. Stay close to the king wherever he goes.
The Levites are to station themselves around the king, each man with his weapons in his hand. 레위인들은 스테이션해야 돼. 주둔해야 된다. are to station. The Levites are to station themselves. 그들 스스로 스테이션해야 된다. 그들 스스로 머물러 있어야 된다. Around the king, 왕 주위에. Each man with his weapons in his hand. 그리고 그 레위인들이 각각이 with his weapons, 무기를 들고 그 손에 무기를 들고 the Levites are to station themselves around the king. 왕 주위에 있어야 된다. 왕 주위에서 레위인들이 왕을 어린 이제 7살 되는 그 왕을 해하려고 할지 모르니까 여호야다가 그렇게 이제 제사장이 명령을 해서 레위인들은 each man with his weapon in his hand 하고 왕 주위에 있어야 된다. Anyone who enters the temple must be put to death. 만약에 anyone who enters the temple, 템플에 들어가서 왕을 어떻게 하고자 하는 사람이 있으면은 must be put to death. 죽여야 된다. Stay close to the king wherever he goes. Stay close to the king. 왕 가까이에서 stay close to the king wherever he goes. 그가 어디로 갔든지 성전 안에서 어디로 가든지 그 왕 가까이에 있어야 된다. 레위인들이 너희의 직무는 stay close to the king wherever he goes.
The Levites and all the men of Judah did just as Jehoiada the priest ordered. Each one took his men, those who were going on duty on the Sabbath and those who were going off duty, for Jehoiada the priest had not released any of the divisions.
The Levites and all the men of Judah did just as Jehoiada the priest ordered. 그래서 리바이스, 레위인들과 all the men of Judah, 유다의 모든 사람들은 did just as Jehoiada the priest ordered. 여호야다 제사장이 명하는 대로 했습니다. Just as Jehoiada the priest ordered. Each one took his men, those who were going on duty on the Sabbath and those who were going off duty for Jehoiada the priest had not released any of the divisions. 각각 그 사람들이 each one took his man. 그의 사람들을 취했는데 each one took his man. Those who were going on duty on the Sabbath. 안식일에 going on duty. 그 자기 직무의 날이 되어 가지고 가는 그 사람들을 those who were going on duty on the Sabbath. 그리고 those who were going off duty, going on duty 하는 사람 took하고 those who were going off duty 하는 사람은 for Jehoiada the priest had not released any of the divisions. had not released. 그들을 릴리스하지 않았습니다. 그들을 풀어주지를 않고 어떻게 또 조치를 취했는가 본데. Jehoiada the priest had not released any of the divisions. 어떤 부대에도 릴리즈를 하지 않았습니다. 어떤 디비전에도 릴리즈를 하지 않았습니다.
Then he gave the commanders of units of 100 the spears and the large and small shields that had belonged to King David and that were in the temple of God.
Then he gave the commanders of units of 100 the spears and the large and small shields that had belonged to the King David and that were in the temple of God. 그때에 he gave the commanders of units of 100. 그가 commanders들에게 장군들에게 줬는데 units of 100 백부장을 거느리는 장군들에게 뭘 줬느냐? The spears and the large and small shields. spears 창들하고 the spears하고 large and small shields 크고 작은 방패 large and small shields를 줬는데 그것은 누구에게 속해 있었던 것이냐? That had belonged to King David. That had belonged to King David. That had belonged to King David. 다윗에게 속했던 그 spears와 large and small shields를 그 백부장의 장군들에게, commanders들에게 주었습니다. 그것은 that were in the temple of God. 어디에 있었느냐 하면은 that were in the temple of God. 하나님의 전에 있었습니다.
He stationed all the men, each with his weapon in his hand, around the king, near the altar and the temple, from the south side to the north side of the temple.
He stationed all the men. 그가 모든 사람들을 주둔을 he stationed 했는데 he stationed all the men. He stationed all the men, each with his weapon in his hand. 각자가 손에 무기를 들고 around the king, near the altar and the temple. 그 altar, 단 주위에, the temple 주위에 그렇게 있었는데 from the south side to the north side of the temple. 그 템플의 south side, 템플이 이제 동쪽으로 이렇게 들어가게 되면은 왼편으로 south side니까 그 south side로부터 to the north side of the temple에까지 그들을 station all the men, 모든 사람들을 station을 시켰습니다.
Jehoiada and his sons brought out the king's son and put the crown on him. They presented him with a copy of the covenant and proclaimed him king. They anointed him and shouted, "Long live the king!"
Jehoiada and his sons brought out the king's son and put the crown on him. 그래서 이제 여호야다하고 그의 아들들이 누구를 데리고 왔냐면은 brought out the king's son, 왕의 아들을 이제 데리고 나와서는 put the crown on him, 그에게 그 면류관을, 왕관을 씌워줬습니다. put the crown on him 했는데 they presented him with a copy of the covenant and proclaimed him king. 그들이 presented him, 그에게 그 여호야다와 그의 아들들이 왕을 데려와서 그들이 왕에게 they presented him 뭐를 줬느냐면은 with a copy of the covenant, 언약의 카피본, 언약 사본을 그 copy of the covenant를 줘서 proclaimed him king, 그를 왕으로 선언했습니다. They anointed him and shouted, "Long live the king." 그들이 왕에게 anointed, 기름을 붓고 anointed 하고 they anointed him and shouted, "Long live the king." Long live the king. 왕이여 만세수를 하소서.
When Atalliah heard the noise of the people running and cheering the king, she went to them at the temple of the Lord. She
When Atalaya heard the noise of the people running and cheering the king, she went to them at the temple of the Lord. 아탈라야가 자기 왕족들을 다 죽이고 그 왕위를 차지했던 When Atalaya heard the noise of the people running and cheering the king. 그 사람들이 막 달려가고 왕을 치어링하는 왕을 이렇게 치어링하는 그 소리를 들었을 때에 she went to them. 그리로 아탈라이가 그리로 갔으는 at the temple of the Lord. 여호와의 템플로 갔습니다. She went to them at the temple of the Lord.
Looked, and there was the king standing by his pillar at the entrance. The officers and the trumpeters were beside the king, and all the people of the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets, and singers with musical instruments were leading the praises. Then Athaliah tore her robes and shouted, "Treason! Treason!"
She looked, and there was the king, standing by his pillar at the entrance. 그래서 아탈라야가 she looked, 봤는데 there was the king. 거기에는 그 죽은 줄 알았던 그 왕이 있었고 standing by his pillar at the entrance. 그 기둥 옆에서 at the entrance, 입구에 이렇게 서서 그것을 봤습니다. The officials and the trumpeters were beside the king, and all the people of the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpeters, and singers with musical instruments were leading the praises. 그래서 officials, 그 관료들과 officials와 trumpeters,가 그 were beside the king, 왕 옆에 있었는데 all the people of the land were rejoicing and blowing trumpets. 그 땅의 모든 백성들이 즐거워하고 rejoicing하고 blowing trumpets, 트럼펫을 불고 singers with musical instruments were leading the praises. 그 singers, 그 노래 부르는 사람들이 musical instruments, 음악 악기들과 함께 with musical instruments, 음악 악기들과 함께 were leading the praises. 찬양을 이끌었습니다. 노래 이제 인도하는 사람의 앞에서 찬양단을 이렇게 이끌어 가지고 찬양팀을 이끌어서 were leading the praises. Then Atalaya tore her robes and shouted, "Treason, treason." 그때 아탈라야가 그 옷을 찢고 아탈라야 tore her robes and shouted. 그리고 외치기를 treason, treason. 반역이다, treason이다, 반역이다.
Jehoiada the priest sent out the commanders of units of 100 who were in charge of the troops and said to them, "Bring her out between the ranks and put to the sword anyone who follows her." For the priest had said, "Do not put her to death at the temple of the Lord."
Jehoiada the priest sent out the commanders of units of 100. 그래서 여호야다 제사장이 이제 그걸 보고 sent out 보냈는데 sent out 했는데 sent out the commanders of units of 100. 그 백부장들의 백부장들을 다스리는 장군들을 보냈는데 who were in charge of the troops. 그 부대를 책임지고 있는 in charge of the troops 하는 who were in charge of the troops and said to them. 그들에게 말하기를 bring her out between the ranks and put to the sword anyone who follows her. bring out, 데려와라. bring her out. 그 아탈라야를 데리고 와라. bring her out between the ranks. 그 사이로 bring her out between the ranks. ranks 사이로 그를 데려와라. 그리고 put to the sword anyone who follows her. 그리고 그 아탈리야를 따르는 누구든지 다 죽여라. put to the sword anyone who follows her. For the priest had said. 왜냐하면 제사장이 말하기를 do not put her to death at the temple of the Lord. do not put her to death. 그녀를 아탈리야를 죽이지 마라. 어디에서? at the temple of the Lord에서. do not put her to death. do not put her to death at the temple of the Lord.
So they seized her as she reached the entrance of the horse gate on the palace grounds, and there they put her to death.
So they seized her as she reached the entrance of the horse gate on the palace grounds. and there they put her to death. 그래서 그들이 그 아탈리야를 어디에서 잡았느냐 하면 as she reached the entrance of the horse gate. horse gate. 말들이 뭐 자주 이렇게 드나드는 아마 입구가 있을 모양인데 그 말문 입구에서 the entrance of the horse gate on the palace grounds. 그 왕궁의 뜰이 왕궁의 그라운드가 있는 on the palace grounds가 있는 the entrance of the horse gate에 우리 도달했을 때에 and there 거기에서 they put to death. 그들이 그 백부장 그 in charge of the troops 부대를 책임지고 있는 장군들이 그들을 they put to death. 그 아탈리야를 거기에서 죽였습니다.
Jehoiada then made a covenant that he and the people and the king would be the Lord's people.
Jehoiada then made a covenant that he and the people and the king would be the Lord's people. 그때 여호야다가 made a covenant, 언약을 하기를 he and the people and the king would be the Lord's people. 그 여호야다와 백성들과 왕이 would be the Lord's people, 여호와의 백성이 되겠다. 우리의 마음대로 하는 것이 아니라 하나님의 언약, 다윗의 후손들이 그 통치하리라는 그러한 율법에 따라서 he and the people and the king would be the Lord's people, would be the Lord's people이 되겠다.
All the people went to the temple of Baal and tore it down. They smashed the altars and idols and killed Matan, the priest of Baal, in front of the altars. Then
all the people went to the temple of Baal and tore it down. All the people went to the temple of Baal. 모든 백성들이 바알 그 신당에 들어가서 tore it down. 거기서 그것을 허물었는데 tore it down, tear down 했는데 tore it down. They smashed the altars and idols and killed Matan the priest of Baal in front of the altars. 그들이 단을 smash, 다 그 헐어버리고 smashed altars and idols, 우상들을 헐어버리고 killed Matan the priest of Baal. 그리고 바알의 제사장이었던 그 마탄을 죽였습니다. 어디에서? In front of the altars. 단에서 이렇게 뭘 하고 있는 가운데 그 마탄 the priest of Baal, 바알 제사장 마탄을 거기에서 죽였습니다.
Jehoiada placed the oversight of the temple of the Lord in the hands of the priests, who were Levites, to whom David had made assignments in the temple to present the burnt offerings of the Lord as written in the law of Moses, with rejoicing and singing as David had ordered.
Then Jehoiada placed the oversight of the temple of the Lord in the hands of the priests who were Levites, to whom David made assignments in the temple to present the burnt offerings of the Lord as written in the law of Moses, with rejoicing and singing as David had ordered. 쭉 가서 끝에 제일 끝에 마침표가 찍히는데 Then Jehoiada placed the oversight of the temple of the Lord. 여호야다 그 제사장이 이제 그 여호와의 템플에 그것을 oversight of the temple of the Lord 그게 이제 그걸 두었는데 in the hands of the priest 제사장의 손에 그것을 두고 그 제사장들은 who were Levites 레위인들이었는데 그들에게 to whom David had made assignments in the temple 다윗이 그들에게 assignments를 made assignments in the temple 템플에서 그 직무를 주었던 assignments를 그들에게 이제 준 바로 그 레위인들에게 그 요야다가 그들을 그게 이제 그게 있게 했는데 to present the burnt offerings of the Lord as written in the law of Moses. 뭘 하려고 했냐면은 여호와의 번제를 드리려고 to present the burnt offerings of the Lord as written in the law of Moses with rejoicing and singing. 즐거워하고 노래를 with rejoicing and singing 하면서 as David had ordered. 다윗이 명령한 대로 거기에서 to present the burnt offerings of the Lord. 여호와의 번제를 드리기 위해서 그들을 여호와의 전에 그들을 있게 했습니다.
He also stationed doorkeepers at the gates of the Lord's temple so that no one who is in any way unclean might enter.
He also stationed the doorkeepers at the gates of the Lord's temple. 그가 여호야다가 또한 stationed 있게 station하게 했는데 누구를 그게 있게 했느냐면은 stationed doorkeepers 그 문지기 doorkeepers를 at the gates of the Lord's temple 여호와의 템플 그 문에 at the gates of the Lord's temple에 있게 했는데 문지기는 doorkeepers들을 그래서 so that no one who was in any way unclean might enter. 그래서 아무도 no one who was in any way unclean 부정한 사람은 어떤 길로나 들어갈 수가 없어. might enter 할 수가 없도록 그게 doorkeepers들 stationed doorkeepers 하게 됐습니다.
He took with him the commanders of hundreds, the nobles, the rulers of the people, and all the people of the land, and brought the king down from the temple of the Lord. They went into the palace through the upper gate and seated the king on the royal throne.
He took with him the commanders of hundreds, the nobles, the rulers of the people, and all the people of the land, brought the king down from the temple of the Lord. 그 여호야다가 took with him 그와 함께 이제 데려갔는데 누구를? The commanders of hundreds, the nobles 장군들과 그 귀족들 nobles와 rulers of the people 백성들을 다스리는 자 the rulers of the people and all the people of the land 그 땅의 또 모든 백성들을 brought the king down from the temple of the Lord 그 왕을 또 이제 왕을 이제 brought down 내려고 왔는데 brought the king down 어디로부터? From the temple of the Lord. From the temple of the Lord. 이제 그 템플로부터 7년 동안 있으니까 이제 7살이 돼가지고 그 왕을 They went into the palace through the upper gate and seated the king on the royal throne. 그들이 went into the palace 왕궁에 들어갔는데 through the upper gate 윗문을 통과해서 upper gate를 통해서 they went into the palace 그리고는 seated the king on the royal throne 왕자의 on the royal throne에 seated the king 그들이 이제 그게 왕이 앉았습니다. seated the king on the royal throne
And all the people of the land rejoiced. And the city was quiet, because Atalliah had been slain with the sword.
And all the people of the land rejoiced. 모든 백성들이 그 땅의 백성들이 기뻐했고, all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet. 그 예루살렘 성은 조용했는데 왜냐하면 because 아탈리아 had been slain with the sword. 아탈리아가 had been slain with the sword. 칼에 죽임을 당했기 때문에 그 성은 아주 조용하게 되었습니다. 역대하 23장에서는 아탈리아가 통치하던 것을 이제 여호야다가 7살까지 성 안에 at the temple of the Lord 여호와의 전 안에 숨어 있던 아하자야 22장에 이제 그 아하자야 왕을 이어서 여호람 요아스 왕인데 이 아탈리야가 다 왕을 죽이고 요아스가 이렇게 숨겨두면서 템플에 숨겨두다가 그것을 여호야다가 다시 이제 그 요아스를 아탈리야를 죽이고 요아스가 다시 왕자에 오르는 그러한 내용이 역대하 23장에 기록이 되어 있습니다.